Hello class, my name is Christopher Rockwell. This is my Project 4 video review for ASD 1301. Going into this project, I didn't expect to spend as much time restructuring my app as I did. I spent a substantial amount of time trying to find an approach to this project, because I kept thinking, okay, do I want to do a whole different app, or do I want to restructure my app? And I decided to go ahead and restructure my app because I would like to continue to upgrade the app I have versus trying to, incorporate the features into a whole nother app that I probably just throw away after the fact. So I decided to go ahead and stick with my app and stick it out. And what I did is just took out all the stuff that was not being used, all the browse buttons and stuff, to kind of help me focus better within my code. And so I just took out all the stuff that doesn't have to do with couch and all the extra fluff. So in a way, it's kind of like a different app, but it's the same principles and the same data I'm trying to work with, so I can kind of see how it works and work out all the kinks. And but surprisingly, okay, last week, instead of using the map.js and making maps, I went with the traditional route that we've already learned, where you just use the URL and link to it like that, instead of using the view. And surprisingly, I was told last week to incorporate the maps this week, and it was surprisingly easy. And I wish I would have did it last week, because it's fairly simple to understand and to get the concept. So that was one thing that was very simple. As you can see here, I only use one map, which, as you can see here, is a really short function. And what I did was I went by the document ID, and everything that has the ID besides the design app is being used. It's one of my documents. So I just did, if the doc_ID is not equal to design app, then you admit that particular document. And so here in my Ajax, I just went for each data.rows, which you get in each document, which each document is put within a row, and you just cipher through, and then you make I made an item object array or object, and I just put all the data in there and pulled it, and then I just sent it to my display page. If you click the display page, this is what will show up. And so that's fairly simple. And another thing that was fun is actually, instead of using local storage, just pulling from my couch data and replacing local storage completely. So I just went through everywhere I saw local storage pull, like the get data, or it was pulling from the local storage at first. I just made it pull from the couch data by using the same thing I use to display my items. But of course I had to kind of make it to where it was getting the key from the couch data, because it was getting the key from the local storage. So I had to kind of replace everything like that, which wasn't too hard because it had the same principles. It was key value storage. So I just went in where, instead of getting the key from local storage, I just got the key, or the ID, which is the ID and the key were the same thing. So I just pulled the ID and set it to key. And then in order to reason why I have this RAV, because you had to have that particular variable to work with the data within the edit items and the delete item. As you can see down here, in order to remove the document, I had to, as you can see here, I had to have the ID and the REV, the revisions, the amount of times I revised the document, I had to have that as well. So in order to remove it, I had to send it those values and then delete the item, the document. So that's one thing I had to kind of play around with and do, which the resources we got this week, as far as the jQuery couch plugin, were very helpful. So they kind of helped me out with that. And I did have quite a bit of trouble trying to get the store data to not do, if it has a key, I didn't want it to do the typical function where it just saves it. I wanted to override the data. And what I realized I did wrong was my submit handler. I had it to where somehow it was running every time. So I had to kind of play with the submit handler a little bit And what I didn't want to do was when I edited my data, I didn't want it to use the submit handler, because I want to pass more than just to store data in the data. Because down here, of course, when you overriding data, I realized you have to not only send the data, but as you can see in the edit items, you have to also send, as you can see right here, the key in the revision, because it has to target that specific item beyond just the data or the key. It also has the revision in order to target that particular item and replace it. So I had to send it that, and what I did was replace the submit button with something else, and therefore it wouldn't do the submit handler function. So that was pretty fun to play with. But now let's take a look at how my app actually functions. So as you can see on the left is the Android simulator or emulator, and the iOS simulator on the right. Android, as you can see right here, is a little bit different as far as their CSS. The text is a lot bigger and it looks kind of weird, I guess you could say. The colors are darker. Everything looks a little bit more flattened. I'm not sure if jQuery Mobile has some kinks they have to work out, but it just looks a lot different. It looks kind of intermediate a little bit compared to the iOS simulator over here. But I mean, everything still works the same. You know, I hit display data, and one thing I did notice is as you can see here, the Android simulator is quite a bit slow and glitchy, and I didn't really enjoy that too much. But as you can see right here, and that's weird, stuff is showing up. So evidently it's some CSS issues going on, because everything is white over here for some reason. But as far as the iOS simulator, which let's work with that since that's messing up. It works particularly good. When I hit the display button, it pulls out my cache data. As you can see here, it has all my data. I hit the edit button. Let's say I change the quantity to 2. Oh, let's do 12. I hit go. It says data edited. Then it waits a second, sends me back. You see 12 right here. So everything works fairly good, and I'm really proud of I can say my data is being stored to a server versus the local storage. So now as I go forward, keeping this principle, I can now put that as a key feature in my app, that I'm not storing to your device and taking up your storage in any kind of way. I'm actually storing to a server, so it's freeing up. You can have as many items as you want and not be hindered in any way as far as your storage. So I'm really excited about that. I hope you all enjoyed this week as much as I did, and best of luck in your next classes and future courses and your time here at Full Sail. You all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.